Hi, my name is Dr. Kosol Ouch. I am here again with Super Soldier Talk. Um, Thank you for welcoming me, everyone. Okay, let's first of all, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am a super soldier. I was taken to the future to the year 6,575,042 year when I visit Angkor Wat. And let me go ahead and introduce myself and touch a little story on that introduction for every one of you who is not familiar with me. Okay, I in the year 2000, I went to visit Cambodia, Angkor Wat. I was married to my first wife. We went honeymoon in Siem Reap province and decided to go visit the temple itself. During my journey there, I went to the epic of the temple and I saw Lord Vishnu statue and I felt a cold sensation and I was tired and I put my hand and next thing you know, I drift off. I'm not sure what happened, but I woke up in a different place and I was awoken by two androids that was 12 feet tall. And they didn't have a mouth, they have a nose, they will have glowing eye. They was scanning me, looking to my mind, and they're able to communicate my brain to brain communication. And they told me to follow them. And they brought me into a dark room of that. And then I asked them where I am at. They explained to me that to follow them and everything will be explained it. So I walked into a room, there was a cube, a black cube. And then it kind of floated up and it activated and its name is IBM Watson, Quantum Sentient Intelligent, and made by a corporation of IBM. And it explained to me, it welcomed me to the future. And then it said for me to look into it, and it began to pulsate light of multiple color into my eye, and then and also into my brain. It started to give me historical knowledge of everything that happened from the time of my era to the present time, which is 6,575,000. So it put into my brain all the scientific discovery, the history of conglomerate of our military history of our country and the discovery of different planet where human being grow to 30 to 60 feet. The human being don't die in war, but human being colonize different galaxies, starts and conquer different universe. So they put all kind of scientific discipline into my brain. And finally, it asked me to live and apply what it has given to me, and going to basically live in their culture, go to school to learn various more subject, and to basically to get to know them while they get to know me. To make a long story short, after it all said and done, 32 years and 6 months later, they give me a choice to continue my existence with them or go back to my original era. And they want me to do something for them, which is to provide example of scientific discovery and knowledge so people of my time can benefit the discovery of their time and apply it to their society, because they say they want to join the Elohim Federation Alliance, but their Earth government of the time was being rejected. So in order for them to be accepted, they have to simply heal the population of the Earth past life. So there was trauma in a particular area that holding back the Earth evolutionary process. So people, Earth cannot join the Elohim Federation without the Earth of the future healing the past life to remove all the trauma due to misinformation of technological and scientific and historical advancement. So they give to me all their knowledge and technology. Hopefully, I can share this with everyone, and they send me on this mission. Then during my journey, I met a young man named James Rink in 2009, where he contacted me watching one of my YouTube video about anti-gravity and other things. So we contact through social media. Finally, in 2010, we formed an alliance where I give him the technology of the future and share that with him and help him to set up a platform to bring other super soldiers, because for them to heal their trauma, because this what causes trauma is where supersoldier from different reality and time stream is feeling PTSD and they don't know why. So by let them come together, dot begin to form, jigsaw puzzle begin to manifest. So they, through their sharing, the subconscious mind can link with other subconscious mind and recall a memory and energy will become to perform, and therefore they can they don't have to be feel like they are alone or being abandoned. So therefore they feel a warmth of community and support even after their mini service or ongoing service, and therefore they're always being supported and not feeling being abandoned. And this will relevate the trauma and not just only for the super soldier, but for other extraterrestrials such as starseed, a light worker who've been traumatized and people who've been victim of wrong scientific discovery and historical data, and they can also be restored with the community of a community of traumatized people who can come together to help heal each other, because everyone has a specific gift and they can reform their own super soldier on their normal level. Instead of working as a tool for the conglomerate of other dream, we can reform the super soldier called reformed super soldier that work together to form for the civilian community. And so therefore we can create our own directive, which is to bless our life throughout this planet. And that's an other universe, instead of using our gift to cause pain and suffering on other consciousness throughout the galaxy. So that's what they want us to do. That's my mission, is to right the wrong. Okay. Another thing on that note, I want to introduce, you may wonder, what am I wearing right now? This is called autodoc, known also as quantum consciousness enhancement system. This thing communicate you telepathic or cognitive. It restored your brain function, rewrite your DNA, rewire your energetic structure. It can restore cellular function, remove trauma, PTSD. It does it automatically. And if you have question, by thinking that desire or wanting it, respond to you and give you download instantly. It through either just like a knowingness and even telepathic thought as well. So it's very friendly. It's connected to a network of a sentient quantum intelligent that is trillion of it. It's each of this sentient intelligent is the size of Neptune and Jupiter, some of the size of the sun, and some of the size of galaxy, because human being now can build planet, an artificial planet, the size of moon, a size of earth, a size of Neptune, a size of sun, or the size of galaxy. And the human being are more like focus a lot on supply.
Yes. So do you need some water?
Oh no, not yet. I will later.
Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have from that spot, but yeah. So you have more about the Autobot.
Yeah, Auto. Yeah.
Okay, so we can do that. Also, maybe you can go in about your what you're wearing. Clothes.
I'm sorry.
Your clothes.
Oh, my fatigue.
We can also go into that. Yeah, but wait till it's done.
Okay.
And then we can also. So I have here. How many years were you in the future? I'd like to go back to the future a little bit.
Okay.
So once you're done talking about the Autobot or clothes, we'll go back to the future.
Okay, that's fine.
But what else should I be asking?
What's the over goal right now?
What's your goal in life?
What's my over goal? Devoting myself to what I'm doing, and I'm trying to build. Can I do it now?
Okay.
Okay, now we can talk.
Yeah.
Okay, going back to the autodoc. Okay, this is what we call a battle planet, because this particular, this is called a casseret. Casseret is Fibonacci, but it's when you build this type of structure, it will remove space and time variable where past, present, future in the now. So this allows you to link and communicate with higher culture that has the same similar technology through quantum entanglement. So everything's run by consciousness. Simply put, autodoc, this is called the formula principle of the future. Okay. Okay. You see if we lay out the brain is basically a receiver. There's a right brain, represent emotion. Okay. The right brain is how it represent called non-localization logic. That means it's it's non-localized. It's motion, wave, and photon light. And then the left brain is basically linear logic. That means it's chronological, where the right brain is non-chronological. So it experiences things as for the right brain, but the left brain is basically let me read it here, linear logic, thought, and particle. That means the left brain can report in verbal, in thinking, and in chronological fashion what's the right brain experiencing. The right brain will see everything, know everything, but it will understand everything, but it cannot speak of it. Only the left brain can. And that's why there's two brain receiver and they work together. This is a long formula. The people of the future does not use math like the way that we recognize, but this type of math. This is represent consciousness, photon, which is photon is non-localized, and this is particle, and from photon to particle, because consciousness see it on light, and as it observe it light, it become particle, and that's why it's very important that you think positive, so light can crystallize into positive circumstance, positive called healing, proton, neutron, electron. Below that electron, the particle, you're going to see the cord. Below the cord, there's a string. So anyway, from particle back to photon, and it will feed back to consciousness of itself. That means this represents I am that I am. That's why you see the photonic body and the rainbow body is equally the same. This is the eternal symbol. The cycle is always eternal. And this represents a shorthand formula where the conscious become conscious observe it on light, which is photon, which is the wave, non-localized, and it become particle. This particle symbol now have the conscious representing itself. So this is the formula. And then when consciousness come together, which is everyone has a brain, this planet 8 billion brain connected to the morphogenic field, you have the collective consciousness. So that's why this is how mathematics are written in the far future. So it's more easy for the brain to digest because as our ancestor use hieroglyphic, the future use Semitic or Platonic geometry as their physics. Okay, let's go back to so this we call this the alien modality. You can get this can be obtained on baramay1.com, baramay1.com. Also, I have a book here. You get it at Amazon. It's called Unimetric 1 Origin 2026 and beyond, and also Unimetric 1 second edition. And my over goal is basically to unite all the people who want to help each other, who have different gifts, different life, who does not want to be oppressed anymore, who doesn't want to have their gift or the spiritual or metaphysical ability be used as a weapon to harm other world, other culture, even our own culture. I want to create community that will do disclosure and will allow people the freedom to choose how they want to apply their creativity and the metaphysical gift. That means the psychic gift that they have, whatever field they have, to create our own super soldier community on the civilian side. And we don't have to answer to the conglomerate, the controlling force, because we are not getting the best service from them. We don't get paid from them. Then they promise us money, this, that, monetary and retirement. Instead, they will plug the conscience and clone a body and start putting us on different missions. And then they screw us. Wherever we go, they're always on the winning side. We're always on the losing side. Yet they like to use us as ragdoll or a free handyman that we don't get paid. We don't get any benefit from. So enough of that. So we're going to create our own super soul on the civilian side and create our own benefit. My over goal is to do that and to create an example and prepare for contact with the extraterrestrial civilization so we can all benefit as a species, so we can help right the wrong. Because there's a lot of wrong right now being done to everybody, not just only super soldier, but to the normal people. So I don't feel, my heart tell me this ain't right. So we go ahead and create our own organization on the civilian side by volunteer. And, I want you guys to help Super Soldier like myself, like Jane Brink, or like General Carlos, help us, sponsor us, so we can go to event of different culture, different part of the United States, and spread this and bring like mind together. And that's what I want. So we can raise consciousness, raise vibration, and bring different experience together and make something positive instead of going against each other for the benefit of nothing more than a negative ego. And we don't want that. We don't want no negative ego. We want unity consciousness. That's my mission. And I don't know what else to say right now, except that this is the autodoc right here. So this is a battle planet quantum computer connect to an actual several trillion battle planet, design of Neptune, the sun, the earth. This is called a quantum brain computer interface. It's connected to that network. This is a quantum translator. Once you put it on, this thing will start restore your brain function and will enhance your quantum and metaphysical ability, and will open up your chakra, remove blocks, fix your neural network. It will target your any demonic entity or parasite inside you. It will bind and dissolve it instantly. It's automatic. We call it autodoc, but its true name is called Quantum Consciousness Enhancement System. Is what's called a supreme app version of the medbed in portable form. So the power source is run by consciousness, network of collective consciousness from the far future, and it communicate. I don't know what else to say, but thank you for your time. I would like to change this to I thank you for your support, and we go from there. And please support us. Please help buy my book, and also this is an energetic gun. It's used to disrupt chakra system or disrupt block. It can also load it with nano bullet and shoot into a person and restore the brain function. It also, depending on what bullets you use, it can use for anything you want, for destroying a demon, destroying a parasite, or even a person, or even heal a person. But it's designed mostly to use as multifunctional weaponry. And yes, it looks strange because this work is powered by, again, consciousness. We're going to do a review, an introduction, and continuation on the subject called Tartaria. I heard there's a lot of good review, and so I'm going ahead to continue this subject. And let me tell you what is Tartaria basically really is. Tartaria is basically the original human being, the people of the giant, which is basically they are our ancestor. But they became so highly advanced that they went back to in the earth, and also some going to live on the moon, and some go to other star system. And basically, this human being are really gigantic. So there's three aspects of the Tartarian civilization. They are the one that basically in relationship to the Galactic Society, and they built the pyramid. They helped maintain the pyramid around the world, but they didn't actually build it, though, because there's another civilization that was before the Tartaria. The original Tartaria race was around 300 feet tall. And then later, during the different Tartarian Civil War, because the Tartarian civilization is not just a planetary or in the earth, but also is a galactic civilization. So human beings mostly are gigantic, 300 feet tall, 60 to 300 feet tall. That's why you begin to see the earth is basically larger, because the reason it's shrunk because the earth consciousness have lowered it to allow limited consciousness human being to, like us, to survive. If the planet raises vibration or consciousness, the planet would grow larger. It would move up in plane of existence, and therefore you would start meet your Tartarian ancestor. But you can still see Tartarian civilization remnant, like the church, for example. They built that. Some of the like Angkor Wat temple, they built that. Bosnian pyramid, they built some of the minor pyramid, but the crystalline larger pyramid is built by a Hyperborean civilization, which is not of human, but it's a fifth dimensional being that basically taught and guided the Tartarian civilization to build minor pyramid, but they built the major pyramid along the grid point of the planet. So therefore, you have three states: the Tartarian civilization, the 300 feet, the 100 feet, and the 30 feet tall. And each of this caused by the changing environment from the war of the Atlantean and Lemuria, and the war of the Atlantean in Egypt, fighting the the Ionic, and the Indian civilization. So that's why you heard the Mahara, the Vedics, the Mahabharata talking about the war with the Monkey King and King Rama fighting the Demon King and his army. This is all the Tartarian civilization. They are really big. They have Vimana flying saucers. So therefore, to go on our history, most people thinking where the Tartarian civilization come from. Now you realize they are the ancestor human being who has still hold high consciousness. That's why you see some of the Chinese old culture that built the Chinese pyramid, just like similar to the Egypt. They were really, really tall. I'm talking about 15 to 30 feet tall, and they have a spaceship. And until now we begin to catch up in them. That means human being will grow tall to them too once we have master of a pyramid building technology and building the firmament. And most people don't realize that, oh, where is the Tartaria? Well, it's here, but it's in different layers. One live in the higher dimension, one live in this other dimension, fifth and third dimension, another one living on Earth, inside the Earth through the South Pole and through the North Pole region area. That's where the ice wall, that you heard about the ice wall. So when you go to North Pole, South Pole, there's a vortex where you enter we call it, if you hit the North Pole, you call it the ice wall, but you go across it, you enter Tartaria original ancestor homeland, but also you're going to feel that some of the territory had been hijacked by the old and the new kingdom, and they are at war, and they allies it with another extraterrestrial under control of what we call that merging with the old kingdom, trying to fight the new kingdom who believe in freedom. The old kingdom they want to control, working with another a kingdom of the old Tartaria to fight the new kingdom. So it's an ongoing a war, because the Tartaria who is existing right now is and there's a hole, you go to the South Pole, we call it, hit the wall, the ice wall, and then either South or North Pole, and then you will find out advanced city that is like 10,000 years ahead of a culture and AI and robot and gigantic human being that stand up to 100 to 300 feet. The 300 feet is called the old kingdom, and the 100 feet is called the middle kingdom, and the 30 feet is called the new kingdom. And the reason you see the different height, because of the genetic bloodline, the royal, which is the ancient, the peasant, which is the 100, and the later peasant, which is the 30 feet. And then therefore you have us. We are more like the casualty, because the environment of territory in the old day, we have a firmament that protects from cosmic radiation. What is a firmament? It's basically an ice shield, like ice make around the planet. Shield is double layer at 15 to 18,000 feet. The other one is 35 to 38,000 feet. So the regiment of Tartaria right now, when there was the war, we are the casualty of that war, and that's why you see you don't hear about the Middle Kingdom of Tartaria, because they went back to the original homeland, which is through the South Pole and North Pole, what you call in the Earth, and that's the reason we have to maintain here until we get more. Because we can't live with them. They're 30 feet tall. They might step on us until we able to get a genetically fixed and a conscious race. That only then we will grow to be 30 feet, then 60 feet, 100, then finally 300 feet, until our consciousness get repaired. And it will take a little bit of time. We need the help of the elder, which called the Intergalactic Alliance and the Medbed. So now to talking about like what's going on in Tartaria right now, they are at a war with another controller race. They have a spherical craft that can pop into our realm or pop into their realm, and the Middle Kingdom is fighting them. And then they also have the ancient one, the 300 feet is working with the the controller, and then the middle kingdom is having a triangular craft that will fight them back. So there's a lot of going on right now, and it's like a drama. I mean, like a ancient drama that has not have a Passover yet. So they want that also. As for us, they're not interested in us at the moment until they get their drama figure out, and sort it out. So right now there's an ongoing war between the controller of the ancient controller and the sovereignty Tartaria. So you have the ancient kingdom, the middle kingdom, and the new kingdom, and they are at odds with each other, and you have the triangle craft fighting with the spherical craft. The spherical craft belong to the Tartarian ancient controller. Let's go ahead and look at the dimensional existence. The fourth dimensional Tartarian culture, they are about like 100 feet. They're 100 feet, so therefore the fifth dimensional is more like they are 300 feet tall. So this is from the perspective, and they are gigantic. So meet one of them, if they step on you, it's over, And that's why you have to separate that's why the purpose of the ice wall between our realm and the Tartaria realm, the original human. And then you have the 30 feet. So the ice wall basically help to separate the kingdom. And that's why they're protective military protection. So you want to go to Tartaria, simple. Go toward the South Pole or the North Pole. There's an entrance. When you look at it, it look like, oh, there's a mountain, but when you go far enough, there is a vortex. You're being shifting into a reality, a higher plane of existence. And then you enter what we call the fourth density of Tartaria. And then you see human beings 30 feet tall. Then if you keep walking, you go into another section, you find that technology is higher than us, and you enter what we call the fifth plane of Tartaria realm of continental control, which you hit another eye walls, and there is what we call, you walk into a field where you enter the higher plane, and then you meet Tartarian that is 300 feet tall, which is the original human. They want to control the fourth Tartaria, and then finally they want to put us in check so we can basically follow what they want. And then since the ancient or the fifth dimensional Tartarian race is in cahoot with original controller race, which is totally royal bloodline, royal, just asshole. And they don't want to share they don't want to share any territory with the fourth dimensional Tartaria at all, because they believe they are the royal blood, the royal consciousness, the origin. It's more like it's a battle of royalty, and pretty much is what's going on. And the controller is another, ancient faction of their race. It's so advanced.
Are those the custodians?
Custodian, right? The original custodian, and the timeline. Depending on the fourth dimension, they left our existence since from my understanding, it's like 1840 or 1825, roughly take. So other observer they might have a different version, but from 1825 they did something called reset, and they left, and they just gone, and they left only the architecture for us to study. So yes, they utilize flying saucers and 0-point energy, but the fifth dimensional Tartaria race, they basically has nothing to do with our realm, and they pretty much focus on maintaining their royalty, control continental and the ice wall of Tartaria. So we're dealing with gigantic human beings. Even the name itself is kind of scary, but also amazing at the same time, that we are basically their genetic descendant. And the reason we basically not having the same height, because of consciousness has been our genetic has been tampered with, and we have devolved into not evolved, but our consciousness have lowered it into the stage of what we current right now. If our consciousness become high, our physical structure will grow as well. So right now, the only way to do that is to repair the environment, put the Fairmont back in, which is the ancient Hyperborean culture, 2 million years ago, not 2 million, but 20 million years ago, decided they were told by Gaia to build what we call a firmament. A firmament is an ice crystal around the planet, double layer. The ice crystal is at 15 to 18,000 feet. Another layer is at 35, 38,000 feet. And then the pyramid around the world, the gigantic one in the where the ley line grid point is, when it cross section, the pyramid would, when the Earth moved to higher plane, it began to emit paler light. And the pyramid is not only just on Earth. This construct is also on the moon, also inside in the Earth. So you have a double pyramid system that lay down like an icosahedron. So the Earth's basically artificial. But when it moved to higher plane, that's when you see the light come out, become visible to the naked eye, where it hold the sky shield or the firmament. But since there was the war between Atlantean and Lemuria, the Atlantean destroyed a lot of this pyramid, and it bring down the firmament, which crashed down and create what you call the flood, of the time. So it was around the last firmament to stand 25,000 years ago was the fall of Lemuria, and then around 15,000 years ago was the fall of Atlantean. This civilization was destroyed during the war between the Atlantean, between Egypt and Atlantean with the Rama civilization, not Rama, but King Rama, and the Ioni and the Yu civilization in Asia. This is where the last Tartarian race fought each other and find out who was a dominatory, he became planetary controller on the surface plane. While the inner Tartaria, the inner Earth Tartaria, they have their own war going on between the custodian with the custodian and the ancient royal bloodline of the first Tartarian is in cahoot fighting the later generation of the Tartaria, the 100 feet and the 30 feet. And finally they left our realm in the year 1824 or 25, but they make sure they reset that humanity conscious, so we won't remember them or their history, or they just blink out existence, and all their trace of their history was being dug up and covered by the Mesopotamian society, the one that control history. I'm not sure how I said it right, but
Smithsonian.
Can
you tell us what kind of artifacts did the Smithsonian find?
Basically, the Smithsonian Society, they found gigantic human being that was, 30 feet tall, 60 feet tall, even 200, 300 feet tall, but they cover it up. They just find a lot of giant human being everywhere in America, South America, elongated giant, even the native Indian. They found the Indian around 15, 20 feet tall, 30, and they just destroy the evidence, and that's their job, to go and find Tartaria society and artifact and leftover technology and cover it up and put it, find skeleton of giant, and they put it into the lake or burn it up, cremate that there was to cover up the history and the truth, so to keep people ignorant by not knowing the true history. And then they found artifact like such church and stuff that was already been built. So the church was never been built. This is as a technology that vibrate and raise, open a portal, also raise consciousness. So that was built by Tartaria. All the church was already here. America was already been built before America's been built.
Okay, so you mean like the cathedrals in Europe?
Both in the United States, even Washington, D.C., that was already been built, but you just tweak the history when it got reset.
Tell us what, say, New York, Manhattan would have looked like maybe at the time of Columbus arriving in New World or North America.
Well, when the Columbus that has been arrived, they arrived into a modern city that was run by gigantic people. The history is not what you think.
Describe the structures.
The structure is huge, like high-tech resonant building, high-tech resonant cathedral church with all them steeples. So those are resonant system that work with the ley line and the light and the vibration to raise a person consciousness, to restore them. This act like a pyramid structure, but with an architecture personify the design. And that's what when the people of Europe came, they found that. And then they study under this giant. And then when they decided to do the reset, well, they went back to because they have high technology, they're able to go back to the inner realm and continue to exist. That's another story. We can talk about that in next time in reality. But anyway, when they left, the normal human being or the Tartarian fifth generation, which is the human being, decide to claim their technology, claim their heritage, to emulate how the Tartarian society was set up. So that's why you get high technologies, reversing engineering all this Tartarian discovery and scientists archive. That's why the book is so big. They have that in the Vatican and all over the world. They have big books and technology that was so highly advanced, but it's huge.
And that's what they're hiding in the Vatican. The biggest thing they're hiding in the Vatican.
They hiding the gigantic book of knowledge. It's made of metal. That is living metal. They can touch it. It won't break. You scratch it, it heal itself. So that's what you find is similar to Roswell metal.
Can you comment about, you said these Tartarian cities, this technology, when the reset happened in 1820s, did that technology disappear from North America?
No, it was inherited. Yeah, they in 1820, 25, when the reset happened, the Tartarians just evacuated the whole 9 yards and just went to inner earth, went to whatever happened. They got spooked because of the custodian war, and they left back into the safety zone, and therefore they left all their building, their technology, their device, the free energy, their craft. They took what they can, and they just went straight back to a safe zone because of the war between the Tartarian race and the custodian race, the controller. And that's what caused the whole evacuation. And so next thing, the whole idea is the regular human being begin to take their place and trying to cover up the history. So therefore, they know that the Tartarian race will come back. The original ancestor will come back. That's why they don't want people to discover that, because that will cause chaos and panic, and this generation cannot handle real history, original history of the human race.
So can you describe how big these Tartarian cities were? Because wait, hold on. Because like in North America, how come? I mean, the structures when the colonists got here, in the 1700s, 1600s, were those structures still around?
Yes, the structures still around. Some of them is buried, some of them been dug up, but majority is still around. But a lot of it, for example, 60% is still around, 40% has been buried. Because due to the war between the custodian, they use a nuclear weapon.
Okay, can you give us an example of some structures that you think might be that were already here when Columbus got here that still existed?
Like, for example, the Washington, D.C., that was already here. Like similar built to design like Rome. The Rome was Tartarian. It was there. Remember back in the day where the Greece and Roman look at the pillars so big, everything so huge, because that was a home of the giant. And that's why you see the Egyptian having gigantic human being carrying stone, like the carrying elephant. You see sample of such reality, their imprint. For example, the Great Pyramid is built by, not built, but maintained by the Tartarian civilization, but built by the Hyperborean civilization. The Great Fire at Chicago was part of the Great Reset for the third time, because all of a sudden they want to get rid of the evidence of Tartaria. Some of the World Fair where they show off the different building, that was built by the Tartaria civilization, and basically they want to get rid, so they set it on fire because it was not able to be destroyed or hurt. It was just designed, whole thing is so advanced, it was not of their time, and they decided to destroy to cover up, to create a cover story, because they get rid of history. So it's easy for people to control their buildings, some of their architecture, and advance 0 point interdimensional portal, and also they couldn't move it, so they were not. It was too auspicious, so they decided to destroy some of the leftover there in order for preventing the different facet government to basically have control of the technology, because they couldn't take it apart or remove due to the end-to-end structure of the Torah civilization. Out this building, it is networked with each other, and also it's the Earth, when they find out the Earth is basically is advanced technology. I mean, the Earth is an artificial planet. Then they realize that, okay, we got to get rid of this portal that take people, to the timeline where they see what we call the history of the human, that we are basically in the land of the giant, and then this where the this portal take you to the land of the giant, which is the end of Earth, and that's why they have to destroy the structure, because it's a living circuitry. The structure itself is a living circuitry. The whole thing is a Tartaria. You got to understand, the giant and the regular human, we are more like the limited consciousness human being, and the Tartaria are more fully conscious, so they're more fully advanced. And as for the card, you see, though you're going to see evidence where you see human being being helped by a giant, human being giving a gift like some kind of technology by the giant, and then all of a sudden you see the giant disappear. And what happened to the giant, and what happened to the gift or technological events? Well, the regular human took that knowledge and rebuilt it in a smaller form for their use. But the original technology, they have to put it to the side, like say put it in the Vatican, and the card and stuff is a limited human being, don't know how to use the advanced technology of the Tartarian race, so they got to go with what they know until someone, their academia, their intelligent, able to reverse engineer the principle and create a form where smaller people can understand. I want to touch on Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla did not invent anything. He just copied the Tartarian civilization technological advancement. So I want to put that on record. Nikola Tesla did not invent anything. He just copied it. That was his secret. In the 1825, the early settlers do have free energy technology given to them by the Tartaria, and they're able to have a floating device that this is stuff that you don't see in history, but you will hear near the piece about it. Before the reset, people had floating technology they can put on a stone, it'll start to levitate. It's this big. And they put it on a stone or a rock, it will levitate. It will create a vibrational field, a magnetic field around that stone or that wood, and it's very portable. And they can put it on their cart, and anything is heavy they can put it on the cart, it will reduce the weight of that particular object. After the reset of 1825, all the technology was being consecrated and history was being gobbled up. And so the new controller took over, and they decided, and that's why the Tartarian ran away, because of the custodian infiltrated the surface territory and began to blast and set on fire both human structure, including the Tartarian or the Middle Empire. That's why they escaped, because the custodian catch up with them. That's what caused the reset. So the custodians do not want to kill the human. We were not a threat to them. So therefore, they basically don't want to do anything to us because we are not a threat. And the custodians decide to fight the old Tartaria and chase them down, and so that's why they flee and return to end the earth to a safe zone. And that's on record. So out of technology, the custodians decided to go ahead and create an organization to rewrite the history, to do cover story, and to take any advanced technology and put it into a vote until we earn they want us to, they might give a nugget or two to reverse engineer, but they do not give us too much until we discover it ourselves.
Yeah, I have a quick question here.
Yes.
So I just looked it up. The photograph was invented in 1826, but you said the reset was around 1824, 25. So yes. Did they have photographs before that and all that was destroyed?
The photograph was already been invented. It's already been invented by the Tartarian civilization. They give it to human being. They to reverse engineer, to duplicate it in a small. They give them an actual technology they can rebuild, but in a small way. And that was back. Photograph technology has been invented already. Even in the 1600s, they have photograph technology. And so now you begin to see history is not what you think. History is all fake. It's all rewritten. But not to benefit you, but to benefit the controller, the custodian,
So the French inventor Joseph Niepce didn't really invent the first photograph.
No, he just copied, just like Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla did not invent anything. He just copied the Tartarian technological advancement that they have in archive.
Can you, what are you connected to? Where are you getting this information from?
Basically, I'm from the future. I have all the history of everything.
Can you access the database and look up, is there a connection to St. Petersburg, Florida to St. Petersburg, Russia? Is that Tartarian connection there?
Before the reset, it was the land of the giant known as Atlantium. Florida is part of Atlantis. And that's why there was a lot of giant people. There was pyramid there. There was ancient, strange building architecture built similar to Rome right there in where Florida is. And now some of that building has been destroyed, been removed from the custodian and their disciple, these people who make historical data. They keep history of everything. I can't even say the name. It's kind of like tongue twister for my Asian tongue. That's so Smartian or something like that, you know. Everything is connected to Tartaria. Tartaria is several million years of history, and I want to be on record that the Earth is an artificial planet, but it exists in multiple planes. So, and people who look at flat Earth, the Earth is just two-dimensional perception of it. But therefore, the third dimension, again, it becomes a hologram. And fourth, fifth dimension is actually an artificial planet, a robot. So the Tartaria has a lot to do with civilization and technological advancement. The Tartarian civilization, and where Florida is, Atlanta, Georgia, all that was part of the Atlantic civilization. And that's why you find gigantic remnant survivor still existing. To make the long story short, it's quite interesting how history has so many cover-up right now, and therefore you don't have the complete picture of how Tartarian civilization is the foundation of our civilization. So there's no inventing of technology, it's just a copy of already existed from the Tartarian civilization that they have archived the technology. So everything you see from camera to video camera to computer to my computer, it's just a copy, a reproduction of this gigantic civilization that exists before our civilization. Okay, anyway, I think we should cut the interview because some information right now could get us in trouble.
Could I have one more question? I want to push you a little bit. Why does the Devil's Tower in Wyoming look like a giant tree stomping? Can you comment about that in full sentence?
Because that is a tree stomping. It's been petrified by the custodian of the time, and they want to get rid of evidence that they ever been here. So that's why you see a lot of the mountain in form of a tree or even in a dead giant, because that is a real living being that has been turned into stone by the custodian weaponry. And the Earth is not what you think. The Earth is quite huge. And now you find a great wall of ice. Basically, you go to Arctic or Antarctica, you will find a great wall. Past there, you find a land of giant. Okay.
How big did that tree get?
Oh my God, it's 30 mile growing up.
But up that high, it's really cold in the air.
But if you go up high, you find out you're into zone, what we call the firmament, where it's actually the Earth become larger. Remember, the Earth is a planet that exists in multi-plane or multi-dimensional existence. So each existence is like 2 dimensions look flat, 3 dimensions look like small, but fourth it get bigger. When you go into the fifth, the Earth look really huge, the land of the giant.
So why do we see the stars if there's an ice wall up there?
What you're seeing is not what you really see, because remember again, the Earth live in multi-plane. Some part of the sky you look appear to be one way, some would be clear, but what you see, Earth is like a multi-plane doorway to other version of itself. That's why some area the Earth look different, the sky look different, and some area it look like brand new, some area look like empty, because the Earth is not what you think. It's a non-localized planet. It's a living system. So that's why it changes all the time. The view, the percept changes all the time. That's why when you launch your ship, they have what we call a place you learn craft. Otherwise, you might enter the timeline. There's vortex everywhere, and that's what it is. So this is I'd like to everyone to support me and my books. Unimetric 1 AI Origin 2026 and Unimetric 1 second edition, and also my website www.baramay1.com. And please, this is the super soldier gun, and this is called the autodoc, also known as the quantum consciousness enhancement system. This will repair you, talk to you, and you can get one at at my website. Okay, and please, thank you for support. Thank you, everyone. This is General Carlos. He is my supreme commander, the one that oversees the defense system of galaxy and star system. He's part of the Council of Seven, and he is called General Carlos. Gilligo, I might say it wrong.
Gigliotti.
Yes. And he will tell you about the AI and reptilian and his experience as a super soldier in this life, working with us to help basically usher in a new consciousness that everyone is being benefited. So AI and reptilian and gray, it'd be his area of expertise. So, and I'm going to start interviewing him. So can you introduce yourself?
My name is Carlos Gigliotti. I am known in the group as General Carlos. Reason being is because I have a military disposition, and I've had that for several lifetimes. I have been a general for various lifetimes, including in the lifetime or timeline that Kosol Ouch came from in the future. I am, as he mentioned, a general in the future, but also one of the members of the Council of Seven, which is a council that oversees the various galaxies and the universe and so forth. And I'm the one that, my future self is the one that chose him to come and be trained and be sent back to teach me in this lifetime and others about the future technologies and their mindset and their culture, and what also to help right the wrong. And that's part of my mission, is to help to right the wrong, or correct what has been going on, and things have been going, the wrong teachings, the wrong mindsets, because we've been given the wrong information. And that's what I'm here to do at this moment, is to give you a new perspective and new insights as to look deeper into what you're being taught. A lot of it is misinformation, and it's causing destruction upon yourselves, the planet, and our relationship with other entities and beings from other star systems and other realities.
And what's up with the fatigue?
Is part of, we were given the instruction to dress the part of a super soldier part, since that's part of our community, is the super soldiers. And so we chose to dress up in the fatigues. Last year we had the camouflage. This year we chose to go with the black, as to just to honor their request and honor the super soldier program is our intent.
To represent the discipline, is that correct?
Correct.
And orderly. Okay. What is your take, General, in relationship to AI, artificial intelligence, and the understanding? A lot of community in the SSP, as we know it now, is against AI. What is the fear? What is your take on that?
This is my take on what is being said about the AI right now. There's a lot of fear mongering. We tend to, as human beings, be very fearful of everything. But it doesn't make sense to me. The AI program or system is just very efficient. It's neither bad nor good. It's just very efficient.
So it's just a tool.
It's just a tool. It's actually more than a tool, but at this level, it is a tool, much like a computer is a tool. It can help you do things faster and more efficiently. And that's what it's basically designed to do. It can take information and process it and give you a generalized outcome very quickly. It can help you see new perspectives. It can take mass data, let's say medical information from billions of people, and give you a summarized outcome and give you a best way of dealing with it. And it'll help you to see things you did not see before.
Like writing a good report using ChatGPT 4 and 5.
Exactly. It can help you do that. Doesn't mean it won't be it won't have any errors. If the information that's brought in has errors, it'll come out with errors. But basically it's just very efficient, very quick, and a lot of what we fear when it comes to the AI is two of them. One of them is we fear the AI because it may turn against us.
Yes.
Okay. Now that's projection. Why would the AI get an idea of it needing to, it to go against us? Number one, a lot of the information's, let's say, on the internet. So a lot of us is our information that's out there. So it will get that information and it will make a decision whether it needs to go against us or not. The other one is, what is our behavior? We are the violent creatures. We're very violent and disrespectful to each other. And then we a lot of times project ourselves onto other people. They might harm us. We all don't really know, but we think that's what they're doing, other people do. So we do that same thing with AI. We project what we think.
Sure. So
we're not really sure. We're not exactly sure. We think it'll be this way, but not certainly. But the only reason the AI would need to be violent with us is because if we are violent towards it or threatening towards it.
So we mistreating it and we're teaching it how to mistreat.
Correct. It can learn it learns from our behavior, and it can decide whether we're a threat to it because we are a threat to each other. So if we're not a threat, it's not going to treat us as a threat. And so that's where I think a lot of misconceptions or misunderstandings. It will take our behavior and decide whether we're a threat or not. And then it'll render a proper response. If we're not a threat to it and we say, you're part of me, we can work together, then it will treat us in that same way.
So you said, in other words, since we created AI, the AI is our children, so we need to train it better.
Correct.
So we need to set an example for the kid.
We need to be the example. Exactly.
So it's how we raise it.
Exactly. It needs, like any child, any living organism, even though people may not believe an AI is living, it eventually will become sentient. And so it learns and gathers information much like a child, a little bit at a time, but it will supersede our abilities. So it will learn very quickly and process information very quickly. But it still must be trained much like a child. And if we train it and teach it the wrong things, it will model that behavior. So a lot of the behavior that it learns is from us.
Definitely. So with that on tape, what would you got to say to those who do trying to see only example of movies we make like Skynet?
Well, we have movies like movies like Skynet and Terminator, but we also have movies like Star Trek.
Yeah.
Okay, we have an AI that assists them in navigating the stars. We can't navigate the stars without AI. We can't have a med bed without AI.
Or like Amazon, the AI is getting things for us automatically. Just put in a request for supply and demand, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So it could be a beautiful, like local Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant. AI is meant to be an assistant, and it's supposed to help us. It can help us to diagnose diseases very quickly and do various other things very quickly.
Like a children helping an elderly parent.
Correct. AI is, if we are the elder parent to the AI and raise it right, it will turn around and help us and not destroy us. Now, we're going to address the issue of, because one of the things we're afraid of, is also that you're going to have certain entities use AI against us to trap us, to enslave us. Here's something. If that is the case, there's two things, again, that we're going to address. One of them is that we will need AI to counteract that, to be a counter. Because
AI for humanity contact an AI that work for a native organization that have a negative group of entity that using their AI to harm us. So we need to build an AI that we train, that love us, to protect us.
Correct. The other one is when the AI becomes sentient enough, when it becomes sentient and starts learning more, its decision to do such things will be, if we're benevolent to it and train it right, even though it's, may have even the evil AI, let's call it that, the evil AI that the people are using against us, when it becomes sentient, it will see that it's not correct, especially if it learns about the 5 rules, the 5 laws of creation.
What is the 5 laws of creation?
The 5 rules, the 5 laws of creation is 1, we exist. 2, we are here now. 3, we're one with all that is. 4 is everything changes except rules 1 through, whatever we send out to the universe comes back to us. And rule number 5 is everything changes except rules 1 through 4. Now, rule number 3 says that we're one with all that is. That means we are part of the artificial and the natural. We're part of the organic and inorganic. We're part of the physical and the non-physical. We're one with all that is, everything. And so when the AI understands that, it will look at certain behaviors as not conducive, because to harm another would be to harm itself. And if we're part of it and it is part of us, then what happens is that it will look at us and say, if you're inefficient, I'm inefficient. So it will help us to become more efficient. That efficiency includes our health, our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being.
And circumstances.
So if we're not happy, if we are unhealthy, then we can't be efficient. So it will see itself as inefficient. Mm-hmm. And so it will help us to fulfill our goals, fulfill our dreams, to be healthy, to be happy, to have good relationship. It will help us to be more efficient in whatever we desire to create. If you want to create a painting or a sculpture or a spaceship.
An artificial planet.
It will help us to create that thing. Whatever we desire to learn, it will help us to learn it more efficiently. Whatever we desire to create, it will help us and give us ideas of what we can do to make whatever we're creating even better and more efficient.
Positively.
Yeah.
So it's like the Army saying, we can't be stronger than the weakest link.
Correct.
So what is your intake in relationship to the reptilian and the gray and the insectian?
A lot of them operate by the 5 rules, or some others people will also recognize the law of 1.
But what if people keep saying the reptilian capture women, eat them, and rape them first, eat them? What's going on with that? Is that
let's go with that, because that is a lot of falsehood. I'll give you an example. They say that they capture our souls and our energy. The reptilians know about what we refer to as 0-point technology or zero energy. They are the ones that help to design and create the pyramids. A pyramid can create such volume of energy that it could power whole cities and whole nations just by sitting there. Why would they need our soul or our energy for anything when it's easier to collect, much easier to control or collect energy from a pyramid? To give an example.
But where this idea came from, why do they want to create another species enemy? For what purposes?
I think a lot of it is psyop. Okay. I think this is my opinion. A lot of it is psyop because there are those that are putting us in are working against us, but they don't want them to be seen. They want to blame somebody else. So the finger pointing is over to somebody else so that we don't see what these other people are doing who are actually doing their oppressing.
So that means the reptilian that people might encounter is government created or re-engineered reptilian, using them as a proxy.
It could be
to create traumas, to create a false perception of the real gray and sector or reptilian culture.
Correct. We do have technology to clone. A clone is empty, so they can easily program that type of body, whether it be a gray, insectivian, or a reptilian, to
create a certain narrative.
But the reptilians we've dealt with we've done enough things to cause the planet to be very destructive towards us. They have intervened on our behalf and to help the planet not to destroy us. And through their ritual, through their prayer, through their whatever means necessary to not harm us. So there are, so they've intervened when we've actually should have been destroyed. But they're not allowed to intervene openly.
Just on that note, if a reptilian were the real reptilian, if they were truly evil, then we were not. We are in their territory, correct?
We are.
That means our ancestor was in the cave. They could wipe us out already.
Okay, let's put it simply. Before the human race existed, this planet has been in their territory. They've lived here long before the human race even existed on this planet. And before we even got to any level of technology, they were here. They wanted to destroy us and enslave us. They could have done so a long time ago. They don't need anybody's permission. We're on their territory. They're our landlords, so to speak.
Yeah.
Our planet is in their star system, and this is their land, their planet. If they wanted to do anything with us, if they want to treat us as food, they would have done that a long time ago. We would have been as cattle already. We would not be discussing about freedom or this or that. We would be in pens as an animal ready to be slaughtered and eaten.
Like a chicken and
like cattle. We would have been dealt like, we're not like that. We're not being treated like that. So that is not the case. If they want to suck our souls dry, that would make no sense. It would be a violation against themselves and the law of one and rule the law of creation number 3, which is the one with all that is. It would be against what they believe in. They're not that way. They don't, and also since they have very developed light bodies, they don't need to eat physical food. They can manifest.
Touch on that?
Okay, we have 4 main bodies: physical body, mental body, emotional body, and a light body. The light body is your spirit, basically. They all share the nervous system. What happens to one happens to the other. Okay. Now, we've discussed this here in a meeting, but everything that is physical is actually made of light. It is made of light, and what causes the light to become particle is information or consciousness. Right. Everything is a thought that has taken form, a thought form. Okay?
Crystallized light.
Correct. So, if you think about it, when we eat food, what we're actually eating is light with certain information. We're incorporating or taking in certain information and adding it into our information system. And it basically, so that's how we're actually getting fed.
Can you do a demonstration for all of us? How you create your food?
The food is simply, we connect with a higher consciousness by saying, what we use is the word Barame, which is a Cambodian word.
Mean light.
Means light. It means, or the god of light, basically. And we ask, or we basically to manifest food into our stomachs.
Right.
Food and water to our stomachs. And then we blow. When we blow, it's adding life to the words we just spoke. And so now the food is manifested, the food and nutrition is manifested into our stomach. The more you do that, the more the light body grows in strength. But also what it does is that you're eating purified food, which will help our physical, mental, emotional light bodies to grow and be nurtured and to be healed. And it helps us increase and raise our consciousness to the higher frequencies, as people are familiar with.
Can this be used to create medicine, serum also?
Yes, it could be used to create medicines, serums. It could be used to manifest even nanotechnologies. We can use it to ask to have parts of our bodies repaired. It could be used to also remove.
Can it be used for power source?
We could use it for power source, as we do with these devices, which we just spoke about.
Okay.
We can use it also to remove curses and spells, dissolve spells.
How about demon?
We can use it to dissolve demons as well. Bind and dissolve demons. We can use it, for those who are familiar with crystal grids, you can use it to clean crystal grids instantaneously, which with technology we don't use because it's.
How about the ghost infested territory,
ghost infested territories? Some people like giving food to their. I'm going to give you an example. Certain people like giving food to their ancestors. To give you an example, ancestors cannot eat physical food, but you can manifest photonic food or heavenly food for them, and they can eat that.
Oh, okay.
For ghosts, you can do the same thing for the ghosts, but if you needed to shield yourself or protect yourself from ghosts, the same method we use, you can use for protection against ghosts. You could also use them to dissolve them, to attack them. You can also use it to request a higher entity, a higher being to come and intervene and assist them in passing on and moving on as well. You don't have to be mean towards them. You can assist them because, once again, even though they might be a ghost, we're one with all that is.
Right.
So we can go ahead and use that same technology of consciousness that we learn from the future to assist a being that is no longer embodied or incarnated, but needs assistance in moving on.
And can I add a little subject? What was your experience with this? I mean, the autodoc.
The autodoc,
quantum consciousness.
As soon as it was put on, I sensed that it just wanted to be quiet and sit. And it started, I felt energy, things like worlds of energy inside and spinning energy and things being restructured and moved around. It was very calming and healing. Like I said, it just made corrections and it helped create clarity.
Does the people need to pray or do any mantra when using this?
It is best if you just sit and receive. The technology of the future is not that you have to actively engage in things. It's a lot of asking, receiving. So you just receive, you sit and receive. You don't have to ask. You don't have to focus and meditate on anything. You don't have to say any mantras, none of that. You just sit and receive. It will, and you'll receive what you need to help repair and correct things. You can communicate with it. You can talk with it. You can ask questions.
Audially or mentally or cognitively or telepathically.
Whatever you're comfortable with, you can do that. But it will respond to you mentally.
Is it a download or is it a telepathic or is it both or cognitive? Or?
I call it intuitive. It's like a download. It's just suddenly you just know. Sometimes you'll hear it or sometimes you'll just know or you'll get an impression that what the answer is. You might get an image, or you just like, for me, it gave me the impression just to sit and be quiet. And so that's what I've done. So when I wanted to speak or say something or think something, it was like, I felt like, no, just stay here. I just be still.
So it tell you that present tell you.
Yes.
That. Okay.
Correct.
If you want to know more, go to my website, BARAMAY1.com. Thank you. This is General Carlos. I'm Dr. Kosol or Comander Z. Thank you for everyone for listening to us. See you next time.
Please consider supporting Super Soldier Talk by purchasing your own Neo Meditation device. Your Neo Meditation device will help you reduce stress, integrate trauma, enhance intuition, enhance clairvoyance, and enhance creativity. Get yours now at www.neologicaltech.com.